Let's open up the doors to enforce purification on the neighbors. Hare Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine.
Srimate Bhaktivedanta
Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nivishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nivishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda. Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda. Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. I'll go for the high. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. You should be leading. You should be leading. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. How about? Oranga. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. yeah, Radha, get it out, Radha, get it out, Radha. Jaya Radha, get it out, Radha, get it out, Radha. Hey. Jaya Radha, get it out, Radha, get it out, Radha. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Nitai Gaur Premanande. Jayam Vishnupad, Paramahamsa Parivrajagacharya, Ashtotra Shata Shri Srimad Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jayam Vishnupad, Paramahamsa Parivrajagacharya, Ashtotra Shata Shri Srimad Divine Grace, Shri Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Shri Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaura Bhaktivinda Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopana Shamakun Radha Kun Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Navadvip Dham Ki Jai. Ganga Imunamayi Ki Jai. Tulsi Maharani Ki Jai. Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Samaveta Bhaktivinda Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. Namaste Narasimhaya. Pradaladayane. Hiranyakashipo Vakshaha Shilatankanakalaye Upanasingha Bharatanasingha Yata yata yamita tanasingha Vahina singha yadayana singha Nara singham madim sharanam prapade Tavakara Kamala Varenakam Adhuta Shringam Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanubengam Keshavadita Narahari Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagarisha Hare Jaya Jagarisha Hare Keshavadita Narari Rupa Jaya Jagarisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadish Hare. Singade Bhagavan ki jai, Prahlad Maharaj ki jai.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Welcome to the Sunday Krishna Love Festival and Feast. We kindly ask everyone to turn sideways toward the chair here. I want to introduce His Grace Vijay Prabhu. Hare Krishna. He's actually a long-time member of our West Coast ISKCON family here, over 40 years a devotee, and he's the Minister of Book Distribution. And I tell you, it's really wonderful if you ever get a chance on Dandavats.com to read the events that happen when Vijay is distributing books or teaching others to distribute books. But it's really sweet how individuals get that opportunity to take up Krishna consciousness by getting books and to hear the interaction and the discourse from that. So thank you, Vijay Prabhu, for coming, and Hare Krishna. So do you use this mic here?
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari.
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari.
Jaya Radha Madhava
Vijana Vallabha Girivara
Gopijana Vallabha Girivana Dari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Gopijana Vallabha Girivana Dari. Gopijana Vallabha Girivana Dari. Yasodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana. Yasodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana. Jamunatira Vanachariti Yamunatira Vanachariti Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihare Gopijanna Vallabha Girivanadari Yasodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yasodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Jamunatira Vanachariti Yamunatira Vanachariti Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Jayam Vishnupad, Paramahamsa, Praivajakacharya, Asatara Satashishimad, His Divine Grace, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shishi Guru and Shri Gauranga. Hare Krishna. Welcome again to our Sunday festivities here in beautiful SanDiego. So we're going to read from the Bhagavad Gita as it is. By the way, who's here for the first time, very first time ever? First time ever to a Hare Krishna temple or first time here? First time here. You've been to Hare Krishna temple. Yeah, you got your Harinam shirt on there. Okay, so we're going to read from 9:14. Ninth chapter is a very important chapter. Actually, there's one little pastime of Srila Prabhupada. There was one captain of a ship, and he was visiting Prabhupada in Bombay. And he was very favorable to Krishna consciousness, but he told Prabhupada, Prabhupada, I have very little time to read, I'm so busy. So he asked Prabhupada, what is the best chapter to read in the Bhagavad Gita? Can you give me some guidance? He said, yes, 9th chapter. Just read 9th chapter. If you can only read one chapter in the Bhagavad Gita, read 9th chapter. And the name of this chapter is the most confidential knowledge. So you're going to be hearing very confidential knowledge right now. Are you ready? So this is in the middle. So this is the most important chapter in the Bhagavad Gita, and we're right in the heart of it. This is text 14. Sadatang kirtayanto mam. Actually, if you know it, you can repeat. Sadatang kirtayanto mam. Yathantascha chudhudavata. Namasyantascha mam bhaktya. Nitya yukta upasate. So here's the translation, and then there's a purport, commentary. Always chanting my glories, endeavoring with great determination, bowing down before me, these great souls perpetually worship me with devotion. Purport. The Mahatma cannot be manufactured by rubber stamping an ordinary man. His symptoms are described here. A Mahatma is always engaged in chanting the glories of the Supreme Lord Krishna, the personality of Godhead. He has no other business. He is always engaged in the glorification of the Lord. In other words, he is not an impersonalist. When the question of glorification is there, one has to glorify the Supreme Lord, praising His holy name, His eternal form, His transcendental qualities, and His uncommon pastimes. One has to glorify all these things. Therefore, a Mahatma is attached to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One who is attached to the impersonal feature of the Supreme Lord, the Brahma Jyotir, is not described as a Mahatma in the Bhagavad Gita. He is described in a different way in the next verse. The Mahatma is always engaged in different activities of devotional service as described in the Srimad Bhagavatam, hearing and chanting about Vishnu, not a demigod or human being. That is devotion. Shravanam kirtanam Vishnu and smaranam, remembering Him. Such a Mahatma has firm determination to achieve at the ultimate end the association of the Supreme Lord. In any one of the 5 transcendental rasas. So what are the 5 rasas? Who can name one of them? Yes? Dasya. Yes. Sakya. Vatsalya. Yes. Madhurya. And one more. Shanti, yes. Yeah. Neutral. Yeah. So this neutral is kind of like not doing direct devotional service, but pleasing to Krishna. And then dasya is servant, serving the Lord. Sakya is a friend. Madhurya is conjugal, and the parental is of course Krishna with the Yasoda, like that. So it's different relationships. Just like we have so many relationships like that here. So they're there in the spiritual world also, but in perfection, complete perfection. In this world, even amongst close relatives, sometimes there's disharmony in the material world, but in the spiritual world, completely harmony. To achieve that success, he engages all activities, mental, bodily, and vocal, everything, in the service of the Supreme Lord, Shri Krishna. That is called full Krishna consciousness. In devotional service, there are certain activities which are called determined, such as fasting on certain days, like the 11th day of the moon, Ekadasi. Today's Ekadasi. That's why I chose this verse. We can speak a little bit about Ekadasi. And on the appearance day of the Lord. All these rules and regulations are offered by the great acharyas for those who are actually interested in getting admission into the association of the Supreme Personality of Godhead in the transcendental world. The Mahatmas, great souls, strictly observe all these rules and regulations, and therefore they are sure to achieve the desired result. As described in the second verse of this chapter, not only is this devotional service easy, but it can be performed in a happy mood. One does not need to undergo any severe penance and austerity. He can live this life in devotional service, guided by an expert spiritual master, and in any position, either as a householder, or as a sannyasi, or as a brahmachari. In any position, and anywhere in the world, he can perform this devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and thus become actually Mahatma, a great soul. Vanchikalpatiyuscha kripa sindhuvyeva patitam pavane vaishnavyo namo namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasti Gaur Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. So this day today is Ekadasi, and it's a day in which we fast from grains and beans, and we try to do more hearing and chanting. This verse says, Sadatam kirtan, always chanting the glory of Krishna. So this is also very important. And when they ask, well, why does God want us to fast? The reason is to help us kind of become detached from the body. Because throughout the day we're serving the body, we're feeding the body, we're bathing the body, we're taking care of the body. So actually the perfection of life is to desire to serve God, to serve Krishna. So actually in all religious movements there's fasting. Just like in the Islam religion, what do they call this? Ramadan. 1 month they fast from the sun rise to the sunset. They don't eat anything for a month. It's pretty austere. And Jesus also, he did some, was it for 40 days? Was it that he fasted? Yeah. And he got some special mercy after that, I believe. In Christianity also, I think there's some fasting. Anybody? Yeah. So it's common to help us overcome the necessities of the body. Instead of serving the body, we try to serve God. So a big part of Bhakti Yoga is actually to control the senses. There's a verse in the Vedas, Vacho Vegam Manasakroda Vegam, Jiva Vegam Urapasta Vegam, Etan Vegam Yoga Saheta Sarvamapi Mampitiving Sasisya. That one who is able to control the urge to speak, the mind's demand, anger, the tongue, belly, and genitals, is qualified to make disciples all over the world. So the tongue has two functions. Main function, it likes to taste different types of foodstuffs and drink different types of drinks, and also likes to speak. So there's Krishna Gita, like what we're doing right now. This is Krishna Gita. We're speaking about Krishna. We're speaking the words of Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita. Now, if someone is speaking about all kinds of things that are not beneficial for our spiritual advancement, this is called prajapa, or useless talk, not beneficial. Actually, in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna explains these. There's 5 austerities of speech. Anuvegam karma vakyam satyam priyam pitunchya. First one is, don't speak that which will agitate anybody, which will disturb anybody. You should speak in a pleasing way. And that's one of the other austerities. To speak that which does not agitate others, to speak in a way that is pleasing, to speak in a way that is beneficial, to speak the truth, and to always be repeating what one hears in the Vedic literature. This is the austerity of speech. Controlling the tongue. Sometimes someone may say something to you, some offensive thing to you, and you want to say something back to them, retaliate. Get back at him, I'm going to get back at you. Watch this. And he starts. But no, a devotee controls the tongue. Doesn't eat too much, and also the speech. We control the speech. So this is why Krishna, he wants us to do this fasting sometime. And actually the higher, believe it or not, the highest standard that one can follow on this day of Ekadasi, where one doesn't eat anything and doesn't drink anything, not even a drop, and stays up for 24 hours chanting the glories of Krishna. That's the highest standard. Not many devotees do that. But there's one place in the Nectar of Devotion where Prabhupada, he says that all devotees of Krishna, they stay up all night and they chant the glories of Krishna without eating or drinking anything in the Nectar of Devotion. So not easy. I know many devotees, they chant 64 rounds a day. For those of you that don't know, 64 rounds that's a lot of chanting, a lot of meditation. One round takes about 7 or 8 minutes. And many of us monks, actually all of us monks here, and many other devotees here, we chant 16 rounds a day. It takes about 2 hours. So you can figure that out, 64, that would take about 8 hours. A lot of chanting. And it's very good, it's very purifying. And that's another point about this Ekadasi is it's meant to help us to become purified. So we're not just fasting, but the recommendation is more hearing and chanting the glories of Krishna. In this world there's a lot of hearing and chanting, but it's about Maya. and therefore people become more and more bound to the material world. But the more we hear about Krishna, we hear the philosophy of Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita. We hear the pastimes of Krishna in the Srimad Bhagavatam, in the Mahabharata, Ramayana, so many wonderful pastimes that we can hear. This is purifying. So this is actually the goal. We do all these various austerities to get purified, and this is the desire of the soul, is to become pure again of this material existence. People they want material happiness, but actually this material happiness that people are trying to achieve, such as eating, sleeping, mating, and defending, that's also there in the animal kingdom. Right? In the Vedic literature, it's also stated that the animals and the human beings, they have these four similarities: eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. But the difference between the human being and the animal is that we have this bigger brain by which we can inquire. Tato Brahma Jigyasa, we can inquire. Why am I here? Prabhupada said an intelligent person asks three questions. Why am I here? What's the goal of life? What's going to happen at the time of death? But most people are asking the question, how can I make more money? How can I get more sense gratification? These are the two main questions. How to get more money, more sense gratification. But this doesn't bring happiness. You can't buy happiness. Happiness is something which is actually internal. Therefore Krishna says, Yonta Sukrutara Tatantir Joyter Evya. One whose happiness is within, who is active within, and whose pleasure is within, he attains the highest goal of life. So one may say, well, how do you get happiness within? Well, first we have to understand that we are within. This body is not who we are. We're the soul within. So that's a big step to understand that we exist within. That's a huge step. And when you understand that, then you understand actually I'm the soul, and I'm part of a supreme soul. And instead of serving this body, which we aren't, we serve that supreme soul. This is inner happiness. This is the higher happiness. This is the happiness that everyone is searching for. This inner happiness. Service to the Supreme Lord. This is the pleasure of the soul. And in the Srimad Bhagavatam, it's stated, Shrimbatam Svakata Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtan Hridyantasto Hyabhadani Vidinoti Suvitsitam. That Sri Krishna, the personality of Godhead, who is the Paramatma, the super soul in the hearts of all living entities, and the benefactor of the truthful devotee, cleanses the desire from material enjoyment from the devotee who simply relishes his messages when they're heard and chanted. So that Lord in the heart, that's called Paramatma. We're the soul within. And there's another soul. And the example is given just like in a tree, a green tree, there's two birds in the tree. Two green birds in the tree, and one is trying to enjoy the fruits of the tree, and the other bird is observing the other bird trying to enjoy the fruits. So the living entity is in this world trying to enjoy the fruits of activities, and Paramatma, he's observing everything that we're doing. Sometimes people think that they're doing something secret. No. There are no secrets. Everything is known to the Paramatma. Not only everything you do, everything we think is known to the Paramatma, to the Super Soul within. So when we understand that we're the soul within and we're servants of the Super Soul, we're servants of Krishna, then we desire to serve that Super Soul. And that's, it's natural when you love someone. Just like I grew up with a very loving mother, and I liked to do service for her. When we would go to the store, I would run and I would open the door for her. Yeah. I had some love for my mother, so I would do service for her. I would offer to clean the dishes and do different services for my mother. And it's natural, I'm sure we all had that experience. You have a loving relationship with someone, you want to do something for them. And when you find out what is most pleasing to that person, then you really want to do that. So Krishna, there's certain things that are very pleasing to Krishna. For instance, in this verse here, Krishna says, Sadatang kirtiyanto mam, always chanting my glories. It's not that Krishna's on some ego trip, that he wants to hear his glories, you know. No, he's called Atmaram. He's completely satisfied. Doesn't need anything. He could sit anywhere in any situation and be completely satisfied. It'd be hard for us to do that, though, right? But when one becomes a Mahatma, which is the verse just before the verse I just chanted, then he's also Aparam. Mahatma means a great soul. So he's also Atmaram. He's self-satisfied. He doesn't need anything. So Krishna, he wants us to chant his glories so that we become purified. Because Krishna, he's the absolute supreme Lord. He's our Father. He's our best friend. And he's always thinking of our welfare. So he wants us to get purified. He wants us to again become pure. It's actually unnatural for us to be impure. Just like when water falls from the sky, distilled water, it's very pure. Then it mixes with the dirt and becomes muddy. Right? So we were also originally very pure. We were all pure. But because of coming in contact with material nature, we become a little muddy, a little dirty, covered by anger, greed, envy, illusion, different things like this. But we can become purified again, just like water can become purified. There's water purifiers. Yeah. We all like to have pure water. It's a big business now, right? Purified water. Yeah, I remember when I was growing up, you never had to buy water. Never, isn't it? Now it's like costs more than a soft drink. To have pure water, and even then you check it, it's not that pure actually. Sometimes they find it's actually tap water, so you got to be careful. So people like pure water, pure air. I lived in Los Angeles for 27 years. Very impure. Of course, now it's better. They got these good smog systems. The cars they have to have much better now, but it used to be really, really bad. So people like pure air. And air can be purified. People like pure water. Water can be purified. So our consciousness can also become purified simply by this hearing. By hearing the glories of Krishna, by following the instructions of Krishna, fasting on Ekadasi. There's one interesting pastime of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He is the latest incarnation of Krishna, came 500 years ago. He's there on the altar, on the right there. His brother, Lord Nityananda, is there. And he asked just one thing of his mother. Please follow Ekadasi. That's all he asked of her. Just follow Ekadasi. So it's something that's very pleasing to God if we follow Ekadasi. Especially we can follow the most strict way. But if nothing else, at least no grain, no beans. And if you don't know when those days are, We have calendars. Do we still have calendars?
Yep.
We have calendars in the gift store?
Yes.
Where you could find out throughout them, it's twice a month. We have these ISKCON days. So you can follow that. And if you do, then it'll be pleasing to Krishna and you make advancement. So whatever we do that's pleasing to Krishna means that we're making advancement towards Krishna. So, and therefore there's one verse in the Vedic literatures that explains how we can get closer to Krishna. Anukoyasya sankalpa pratikoyasya varjana. That whatever is favorable for devotional service, we accept that. So then you got to find out, well, what's favorable for devotional service, for advancing in spiritual life. Therefore we have these books, these very valuable treasures of knowledge that give us guidance. Actually, that's what these books are. They're guides for the human form of life on how to get out of this human form of life and get a spiritual body, get out of this whole cycle. What's it called? The cycle? Birth and death? Samsara, yes, to get out. This is the loophole. The human form of life is the loophole on how to get out of this cycle of birth and death. No other form of life can do this, only in this human form. So we should take advantage and find out what is favorable for escaping from this material existence. It's called the Great Escape. The greatest escape is how to get out of the repetition of birth and death. So we're getting guidance. So also knowing what not to do, what is favorable, what is unfavorable, for our advancement in spiritual life. So there's a lot more things in this world that are unfavorable than are favorable. So we have to be very careful. There's a lot of distraction. As one devotee said this, he said this material world is bombarded with weapons of mass distraction. There's a lot of ways to be distracted from our journey to perfection, so we have to be very careful. And the best thing you can do, it's mentioned by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, is to associate with devotees. Because if you associate with devotees, then from devotees you find out what's pleasing to Krishna, what's not pleasing to Krishna. And they help you remember Krishna also. Just like Srila Prabhupada. He's probably the most wonderful example, the epitome of helping others remember Krishna. He was so Krishna conscious. New York City, 1966. Amazing. It was this, so many people on drugs and alcohol, and Prabhupada was so pure that he was able to bring them to Krishna consciousness, and they became devotees. So many. 1966, 67, 68, 69, so many people were joining. There's even a book called the Harekrishna Explosion. Amazing how many people were joining by the Shakti, or by the potency of this great devotee, Srila Prabhupada, who had so much, he was bubbling over with Krishna consciousness. And so many were taking advantage. And you can still take advantage of the association of Srila Prabhupada in these books. See, there's the Vani. Vani means instructions. And there's the Vapu. Vapu means the form. But Srila Prabhupada said, my books are better than me. Because in the books, I'm giving everything. So much wisdom is given. And I'll tell you some amazing stories of how Srila Prabhupada is still giving guidance, giving spiritual guidance. I have a friend in Vrindavan, India, where Krishna appeared, and he distributes books there at the temple, our Vrindavan temple. And he saw one lady there that she looked a little out of place. She had never been there before, and she was confused about what to do. So the devotee one started talking to her, and found out that she was from, I think, Venezuela or Colombia or something like that. And she had some terrible disease, and the doctors didn't know what it was. It's painful, and she didn't know what to do. And so, in her dream one night, Prabhupada came to her and said, "Everything will be okay. Don't worry. My name is A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami. Don't worry. Everything will be okay." And she woke up startled. Who was that? She went back to sleep. A couple days later, her disease was gone. She said, wow. So somehow she was able to remember some of the name, and she went on the internet. So after quite some time, she was able to find Prabhupada's name there. And she found out about ISKCON and the centers, and from reading she found out that ISKCON Vrindavan was the most important center in our movement. So she thought, oh, might as well go to the best place. So she flew to Vrindavan. So this devotee he was shocked. So Prabhupada, when he was here, he was doing so much sharing of Krishna consciousness. He's still doing it. He knows we still need some help, you know. So he goes into people's dreams, inspires them. So this devotee that she was speaking to, he said, you know, I'm very close to this A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami. I've been a disciple for some time. And I think what he meant more than anything was that everything will be okay with your spiritual life. He helped your disease. He helped you become free of that disease. But what is more important than becoming free of that disease is becoming free of the disease of false ego, where you think you're a woman, or you're Colombian or Venezuelan. You're actually the soul within. And this person who came to your dream, he has many, many books that give so much guidance in your spiritual life. So I have these books here. You can take some. You can give some donation if you like. She said, I'll take every book you have. So she took all these books, took them home, and started reading. She got japa beads and neck beads, and she was set. So this is the desire of the pure devotee, that people understand who they are. Yeah. That they do things that are pleasing to God. Don't do anything which is displeasing to God. Anukoyasya sankalpa pratikoyasya vajana bakshishititi vishvasha. The devotee knows that Krishna, he will give all protection. Therefore a devotee depends on Krishna. He will protect me. And he will maintain me. Krishna maintains everyone. It's like we get so many nice fruits and vegetables. Krishna is very good at making fruits, vegetables, so many nice things. Very expert. There's a saying that God, he gives, and he gives, and he gives, and then he forgives. And we get, and we get, and we get, and we forget. We forget where it's all coming from. But we should remember, we should appreciate We should have gratitude, grateful. We should be grateful to all that is given to us. And if we're not grateful, then guess what? We're great fools. Better to be grateful than be a great fool. So this is Anukoyasya sankalpa pratikoyasya vaj rakshishiti vishvachu goptrute sharanam yata. And to be meek and humble. This is another type of surrender. We should be humble. I know I grew up in Southern California. There's this Southern California ego, you know. I know I had the experience. But then Krishna humbled me. I remember when I was 12 years old, I was such a proud little guy. I remember saying, I'll never bow down to anybody. And the Krishna humbled me. And I bow down all the time now. And it's good. I told you the austerities of the speech, so there's an austerity of the body also. Deva Dvija Guru Pragya Pujanam Sochanevacha Brahmacharyam Ahimsacha Sarira Tapa Uchite. These are the 5 austerities of the body. To bow down to God. And because of our ego, people don't want to bow down. But actually we should. It's very good for us. It's good for our ego to minimize our ego. Actually, it's described in the Srimad Bhagavatam that as one bows down to the Lord, as one hears about the Lord, as one engages in devotional service, the false ego becomes dissolved. It becomes dissolved. But that doesn't mean we don't have identity. See, there's false ego, there's false identity, and there's real identity. Our real identity is that we're the soul. We're part of Krishna. We're the eternal servants of Krishna. So the false ego is dissolved, and then the real ego, who we really are, becomes healthy, very healthy. So Deva Dvija, bow down to Brahmanas. Brahmanas means those who are engaged in devotional service, and they have the qualities of a Brahmana. Samodhamas tapasocham shantir arjunevaja. Peacefulness, self-control, austerity, purity, tolerance, honesty, wisdom, religiousness. These are the qualities of the Brahmanas. When you see saintly people, bow down to them also. Not only to God, but even to saintly people. Just bow down. Krishna is pleased if we bow down to his devotees. He's even more pleased if we bow down to his devotees than if we bow down to him. Because the devotees of Krishna are even more dear to Krishna than himself. So Deva Dvija Guru, to bow down to the Guru. Deva Dvija Guru Pragya, saintly people. Deva Dvija Guru Pragya Pujanam Socham Arjumam. Socham means to be clean. Sometimes people don't like to bathe. Isn't it? Sometimes people it's an austerity to bathe sometimes. Therefore I know mothers have to tell their children, you go bathe. Isn't it? Children don't like to bathe, isn't it? So it's an austerity sometimes. In France, actually in Europe in general, they thought it was, believe it or not, hundreds of years ago, they thought it was unhealthy to bathe. Believe it or not. And sometimes they would go a year without bathing. And believe it or not, that's why perfume came out. It started in Europe, especially in France there. So sometimes it's an austerity to bathe. So Deva Dvija Guru Pujanam Socham Arjuna. Arjuna means simplicity. We should live a simple life. And brahmacharya, to be celibate. These are the austerities of the body. So austerity is good, and it's stated in the Bhagavad Gita, Nayam lokosta yagyasha kutonya kursatama. That if one does not perform sacrifice or austerity in this life, one cannot be happy. You can't be happy in this world. if one does not perform austerity. People want to be happy. You do austerities for the pleasure of Krishna, then you'll find yourself to be happy. And you'll even be wondering, why am I so happy? Just like sometimes people wonder, why am I suffering so much? Sometimes people wonder, why do I feel so happy? If you do things for Krishna, selflessly, then you're going to find yourself feeling inner happiness. And this is what we want, right? We all want inner happiness. So this is the result of doing things that are pleasing to Krishna. So there's a few minutes left. Is there any question or comment? Yes?
If Krishna is omnipotent, why didn't he create a world where there was only happiness and no austerity or anything?
Okay, if God is omniscient, then why did he create a world where there's, why didn't he create a world where there's just happiness?
Yeah, why did he include suffering?
Why did he include suffering? And why austerity? So, one thing that we have to understand is that Krishna, he creates us. Actually, we're eternal. But you could, just to hold a normal conversation, we'll say that we're created with free will. Okay? If we didn't have free will, then we couldn't choose to serve Krishna or not serve Krishna. We would have to. And you know what that means? That means a robot. Anybody here want to be a robot? Raise your hand. Nobody here wants to be a robot. We all want free will. So, we were all with Krishna, all of us, everyone was with Krishna. At some point, we saw Krishna in the center, and we thought, well, it'd be nice to be the center, like Krishna. But in the spiritual world, there's only one center. There's not two. Krishna's the center. So we left. And now, here in this world, we're trying to be more or less the center. And therefore, Shakespeare said that, I'm paraphrasing, there's one stanza, he said that the whole world is a stage and everyone is thinking that they're the main actors on the stage. Does anybody know the exact stanza? Anyway, it's something like, I paraphrased it. So, this is the thing, we're trying to be the center. We misused our independence. So, it's not that Krishna wants us to suffer, it's that we misused our independence. And now we're in a world where, believe it or not, suffering is a blessing in disguise. It's good. Wait, let me finish. Because no matter what situation you're in this world, you may be a multi-billionaire and have a big mansion and have so much, so many servants and just all kinds of facility for material enjoyment, you're not going to be happy. Because there's going to be death. There's disease. There's old age. Yeah. These things can't be avoided. It doesn't matter. So Krishna, he creates this world. It's said in the Bhagavad Gita, Dugalyam Shashvatam. It's a place of suffering. He creates it like that so that any sane person will stop and think, well, wait a second. Maybe there's a world better than this world, where there is no suffering. So that's an intelligent person, because there is. Now, if that suffering wasn't there, then we would never think, maybe there's another world beyond this world. So it's a blessing in disguise. So don't waste your crisis. When there's a crisis in your life, don't waste it, because that's an opportunity to grow in your spiritual life. Yeah. That's an opportunity to grow. And we should want to grow spiritually. Yeah. Because the more we grow spiritually, the happier we become spiritually. You wanted to ask another question?
You're saying that Krishna is not all-powerful if we have free will?
Oh! He's coming up, he's being a devil's advocate now. So, no, he's all-powerful. He can do anything. But what attracts Krishna more than anything else is love. And without free will, there is no love. Imagine you have a son, and your son is not showing very much affection for you, and you want him to show affection for you. So you take a gun and you put it to his head, and you say, "Son, if you don't show affection for me, I'm going to blow your head off." And all of a sudden he says, "Oh, Daddy, it's so nice to see you," and he gives you a big hug, and he's just like, and what is that? That would be sick, right? For a father to do that would be sick, because he's forcing. So without free will, you have to understand this free will. This free will is the essence of who we are. If we misuse our free will, then we're here in the suffering world. If we utilize our free will properly, we can go back to the spiritual world where there is no suffering. So the key is, Krishna has created us with free will, and we misused it. Let's not misuse it anymore. Utilize it properly, and get the heck out of here. We wanted to be in the center. Yes, we wanted to be in the center, and that was our big blunder. That's why we're here. And because we made that big blunder, we're suffering. We don't want to suffer. We want, the nature of the soul is eternality, knowledge, and bliss. This is what all of us want. We want to be eternal, and we are eternal actually, but we've forgotten because we're in this world of ignorance. We want to be happy. It's covered by this illusion that we can be happy through some materialistic arrangement. And we want knowledge. Yeah. Right from the beginning of our life, we're in school, we're learning, we want to learn. So eternality, knowledge, and bliss, this is the nature of the soul, the inherent nature of the soul. But it's covered now. So the process of Krishna consciousness is to uncover, to get out of all this ignorance, just become free of all this ignorance, all these layers of illusion, and be pure souls again and engage in the service of Krishna. Okay? Any other questions or comments or reflections? Okay, I think we're going to have kirtan now. Thank you very much.
All right, everyone. Everyone kindly stand up, put your mask to the side. We're going to have a very nice kirtan. And then after that, it'll be a nice reserve. Thank
Hare
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Thank you, everyone. Hare Krishna. If you could, tonight's feast is non-sponsored, so if you could kindly get a ticket from the gift shop and then line up in rows, and then prasadam will be served out, the wonderful feast. So, Hare Krishna, thank you.
Yesterday we went to Mount Loa. It's actually kind of cold,
Hello? Hare Krishna? Hare Krishna?
Can you hear me?
Hare Krishna? Hare Krishna? Hare Krishna? Can you hear me on this? Hare Krishna? Hare Krishna? Hare Krishna. Hello, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Sorry about that. Hare Krishna, everyone. Can I have your attention for just a minute here, real quickly? Just want to make some several announcements. Hopefully I'm not too loud here. Hare Krishna. So first, I wanted to mention there's a very, very wonderful festival coming up, and you'll need to flag this date. It's going to be on Friday, October 20th in the evening. So Friday evening. And it's Govardhan Puja. It's a very, very special festival that's very relevant to our temple here because their Lordship Shri Radha Giridhari reside here. And it's a huge festival. There's a big mountain of prasadam that's made with individuals who bring different sweets and offerings. And a big hill is made in honor or commemoration of Govardhan Hill that Krishna lifted with his little pinky. So it's an amazing pastime, it's an amazing festival, and you definitely want to be here for that. So flag that date. Now I want to mention for that same event, everybody can participate. So you can bring fruits, you can bring sweets that you make, no eggs, and that you don't, eat them before you bring them. But we were requested that you try to bring, if you make some sweets, they could be sweet balls, you make 24 of them. Or if you make cookies, you make 24 of them. Or if you make something like banana bread, you can slice it and put it in little baggies and then bring that. If you bring any sweets that are real loose or wet, it's best to put them in a little package, and then they'll all be put together into a beautiful mountain offering for Shri Radha Giridhari. And then what time should they bring them by? 6:30. By 6:30? So by 6:30 in the evening on that Friday. So since this is new Govardhan, we need everybody to enthusiastically, prepare something, bring flowers, bring fruits, and then bring sweets that you make at home. And we offer them to Krishna first. So you make them, and then we offer them, and then we distribute them, and it's part of the whole festival. So please, flag that date. Also, there are sponsorship opportunities. I know that the feast is sponsored and part of the festival is sponsored, but there's still opportunities for the Lord's outfits and other things if you want to participate in that way. And then those funds are used to promote the festival and to engage everybody here in a very wonderful event. So please, be ready for that and make sure that's on your calendar. We also have just some other quick notices here. We've got... just to get everybody a heads up, our temple website is temporarily down. Make sure you're on our newsletter, which you can sign up in the front with your email address and contact information, so you get the weekly newsletter and other special events. But our website is temporarily down. It's under kind of a renovation, so that should be up soon, that you'll be seeing that in case you've missed that. And then we also have, the Govardhan Puja, and we have a Lakshmi Narayan Diwali Puja, and that's going to happen on October 17th, here on a Tuesday at the temple, if anybody wants to participate in that. And then we have many home gatherings, Bhakti Chakri programs right in your neighborhood. And the best thing is to be on our newsletter, on our website, so you can get all the information. So it could be a Wednesday night, a Monday night, Tuesday night, and then you can participate in that. Plus the website also lets you know about the wonderful Bhagavad Gita classes we have. We have Krishna Lounge, Kirtan here every Thursday night. So many wonderful events every week. There's a Saturday evening program, which is a special festival that we have Satsanga, Association of Devotees, like Vijay Prabhu was mentioning. And then, of course, there's a Sunday program here. So please sign up if you're not on the newsletter, and please flag those events. So thank you very much, and Hare Krishna.
Okay, so we were driving here. It's called like baby